Jason is in the living room like a trained pit bull. The Halsons are sitting around the dinner table like they're the Waltons, and Sam got his Peter rolled. Just like I thought. I told y'all Bob was going to fold him up proper and roll him down that street. And that's just what he did. I knew it. This is my review, my breakdown, my commentary of Tyler Perry's The Oval, Season 4, Episode number 15, titled Deception. Now, let me be very clear before I dive into this recap. I love watching The Oval, hence why I review the show. If I don't care for a show, I'm not going to waste time or energy watching it, even spending more time talking about it, right? On my last video, got a couple of comments that were made as if I didn't like the show because of the video title. I made the comment because of how the wholesome characteristics of the Halson family resorted to mingling with the likes of the highest, daikon, elder mother, you know, the trash. That was the premise of my statement, hence the video title. So please don't misunderstand me what I meant by that, okay? Okay, now let's get into the video. The episode opened with Jason, Alan, and Alonzo. And most of us knew that Alan using the name Maria was code for Alonzo to come through and that he was in trouble. And I'm glad that he picked up on it because his little toy cop co-worker thinks that he has noodles for a brain and that he's not that smart. So good looking at Alonzo. Alan wanted to call Donald and Alonzo wanted to call Sam to let him know that Jason is alive and well and in Alan's apartment, drinking. After Jason explained in grave detail what had happened to him, Alonzo wanted to go to the kitchen with Alan so that they could discuss what the next move was going to be. And Alan was pretty sure that Jason was going to take off running if they were to leave him alone. But Alonzo pretty much told Jason to sit and behave like a well-trained puppy dog. Did y'all catch that? The way that Alonzo was talking, I thought he was going to perform a ritual right there over the coffee table, right? But he just told Jason to sit down, chill out, and surprisingly enough, Jason obeyed. In the meantime, we got a full glimpse of last week's cliffhanger where Richard came home and found his wife decked out in full Raku garb, sitting amongst some compound sisters. And of course, Richard is stunned and he wants to know what's going on. Nancy explained to him that she went to the compound looking for Barry, and while she was there, she saw Ruth and Callie, and they didn't come back home because they were happy. What? Nancy knows that couldn't be farther from the truth. So this is how Richard knew that she was on something. She knows exactly who the Rakadushis are. She knows that they tried to run Richard off the road, and she knows exactly what they did to Barry. So Richard knows right away that she ain't working with the full deck. And whatever they gave Nancy must have worked because she forgot all about why she went to the compound in the first place to look for Barry. But she also invited them to dinner. Now, I'm telling you, this character is so out of character that I just don't know what to think anymore. It kind of reminded me of when Priscilla popped up in the First Lady's bedroom, acting all kinds of weird. Priscilla ain't been the same since, right? But Richard is pissed off. Look at him. But he knows that if he's not careful with his words, that it could set these crazy mother suckers off. Then the Highs was like, I sense with my third eye that Richard wants to say something to me. You think? So let's move on to St. Rhodes. Lily convinced Officer Heller to take the handcuffs off, and she promised not to hurt herself. I thought he handcuffed her to keep her from trying to run. Did she try to hurt herself? Did I miss something? I don't know. Nonetheless, he took the handcuffs off and then he tried flirting with her. And we really should have saw this coming, the way that Lily was flopping her legs all around in the air on the last episode, showing all the goodies. So yeah, he was like, let me put my number in your phone for emergency purposes. What emergency? He told Lily that she was awesome and that she should be treated like a queen. Then here comes Donald, flexed up. Walking in like, you know, like he's fake loving on Lily, kissing all over her. And he couldn't avoid the energy that was in the room. He knew that Officer Heller was trying to hit on her, right? Then Lily messed up and called Officer Heller by his first name. Oh man, what'd she do that for? She knows that Donald is a jealous fool. Look how he tried to hunt Bobby down. And Donald is another one that Bobby needs to fold up and roll down the street. But that got Donald even more heated than Officer Heller tried to put him out. Then we move right along to Kyle and Max. And Kyle is trying to flirt with Max, but Max wants a rematch. Not much to take away from this scene other than that, but Kyle stayed there to chop it up with Agent Flint, who gave him an update on tracking Alonzo, or was it Sam still? I don't know. It must have been Alonzo, because he called Alonzo stupid because he left Hunter in the hood with no backup. They shouldn't have had their ass out there in the first place. Kyle got a call from Donald, and he told him to come to the hospital, come to St. Rose, and come alone. So we already know what that's about. Now, Sharon and Dale are on their way to Nancy's house, and Sharon called her, but she didn't pick up the phone. And Dale thinks that Miss Nancy don't want him over there. And that's why she's not picking up the phone. Dale needs to go back home and find out what happened to his parents. They are ruthless, dead as a doorknob, and he don't even know it. So since she's not picking up the phone, Sharon wants to stop by Kareem's to be nosy. She figured that Kareem is trying to hide something because he doesn't want Dale back over there. She also shared with Dale how Nancy wanted her to set Hunter up, and she thinks that because she used to be a stripper, that it'll be easy peasy. And I told you guys, this is where she met Barrett at, and it turns out she met Kareem there too. And at first, Sharon didn't want to have anything to do with the setup and the potential downfall of Hunter Franklin. What changed her mind? Do y'all think that $20K every month had anything to do with it? I mean, $20K does sound nice, right? What y'all think? Let me know down in the comments what you think changed her mind. Now, in our next scene, we have Bobby and Priscilla. And Bobby is trying to back out of the deal. Initially, he thought that he and Priscilla were going to go to a hotel, right? But Priscilla wanted them to go back and do the do at her house. Yeah, where her and her husband lay at. But does it really matter? Sam cheated on her, so he deserves whatever comes with Priscilla's getting over it, right? I mean, who's being more disrespectful here, Sam or Priscilla? It doesn't really matter whether they smash at the house or at the hotel. The location is kind of irrelevant at this point. And Bobby is full aware that Priscilla is just trying to make Sam mad. Like, she don't want him for real, but Bobby was playing along, you know? He didn't mind the revenge smashing fest. He didn't mind at all. But it's something about being in another man's house with his wife in that way. It just didn't sit well with Bobby, and he was uncomfortable. He couldn't really get into her like that. And just when he was about to leave, this trigger. Sam popped up out of the car. He done jumped out like he bad. Bobby had to lay him down, roll him around the street a little bit, just to let him know that he is not the one. Sam didn't hit Bobby not one time, but it was something about this scene that landed Bobby more brownie points with me, as if there weren't enough already. He went home, and Priscilla started taunting Sam a little bit, and this is all that she wanted. She just wants Sam to feel pain in any way that she can give it to him, emotionally or physically. Then we move on to Hunter and Victoria, and Hunter wants to know who Victoria is talking to on the phone. Why? Why are you so interested to know? A lot of people thought, oh, he's really madly in love with Victoria. He really loves her at the end of the day. Nah. Nope, he can't stand Victoria. The reason he was questioning her, even threatened to throw her and that phone through the wall, is because he wanted to know who helped her out with Jason. He knows that she couldn't have done this by herself, so he's curious to know how she did it. And this is the premise behind his Q&A, but it's not who he think it is. And we all know now that Sam was behind it all. Now we get to see what Kareem is really made of here. Even though he hated Barry to the core, he couldn't find it in himself to chop him up into little pieces and throw him inside of a duffel bag. In fact, I don't think Kareem has the balls to do anyone like that, right? I mean, that's just horrible for anybody, right? But Cuz was like, okay, since you can't do that, then we're gonna stick needles in his arm and then take him down to Skid Row and just drop him off there. Cuz with all of that, he don't care. But he really don't know Barry like that. I mean, whoever has to identify him, they won't be too convinced because Barry didn't do needles. Barry was just learning how to hit the blunt. So they know that he wouldn't have went out like that. Cuz told him it's gonna cost you $10K to have this cleaned up, man. He's gonna have the cleanup man come and take care of it for him. So back at the Halston residence, Nancy is playing the hostess with the mostest to these serial killers. And Nancy wanna hang out at the compound with Elder Mother and Daikon like it's a country club or something. This character is being very extreme right now, and it's one thing that you got on that purple robe singing Kumbaya with the highest, and now you want to hang out with them. And Richard is like, F that, your man tried to run me off the road, and I want my granddaughter out of that camp. The highest was like, little Callie can leave anytime she wants to, and Richard knows that this is not true. He was like, get y'all crazy side of my house. Richard told him, I got friends in high places. I got friends in the Secret Service and in the FBI. Then the highest requested that he talk to Richard alone. The evil government is the highest trigger words, right? So he told Richard that if he or any of his quote unquote friends come near them, that 70 kids were going to lose their lives to the raccoon, and Callie would be the first one on that ride. Then he told him that he was going to enlighten Richard. Richard was like, what does that mean? And we all know what that means, right? He wanted to give Richard that good old cleansing and then have Richard worship him the rest of his life. And Richard said, why would I want to worship you when you almost killed my son? And the highest said, we did kill your son. And Richard was in disbelief, of course. But with the highest saying that, coupled with the fact that Barrett has been missing for days on end without any contact, he had to digest the fact that the highest took Barrett out. And of course, this caused Richard to react, but Daikon was right there to protect his boo. But I don't know. I think Richard could take the highest in Daikon by himself because Richard be working out, right? Y'all think Richard could handle that lightweight? Drop me your comments below and let me know what y'all think about this episode of Tyler Perry's The Oval Season 4, episode number 15, titled Deception. If you like the video, go ahead and like and share the video. You know I'd appreciate it. And if you're a fan of Tyler Perry's The Oval, go ahead and sub to the channel for more videos just like this one. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Ruthless TV, you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.